Hi everybody, it's October 27th already. I'm going to do a short tarot reading on COVID. And I just wanted to remind people when you're listening to the news and, doing the media thing, I mean, there's a lot of different perspectives out there. They're all very interesting. To just bear in mind what the actual specific the statistics are saying, okay? We know there's been some recent outbreaks in private nursing care homes. I can only speak to Canada. I don't really know what's happening in the States. There's been issues before with meatpacking plants. I believe there's a new case with one of the prisons. And I feel very strongly that these problems have been around for a while, probably affecting the health of people. And now that it's coming to public attention, it would be nice if these things got cleaned up, because it's all about humane care. Whether you're in a prison or you're in a nursing home, people are vulnerable and need to be cared for. Cared for properly. Just got the justice card, sort of jumped out of the deck. Okay. There needs to be justice for vulnerable people. That is how our society, sort of at what level are we functioning, level of consciousness. How do we take care of people who need help? How do we take care of people who are vulnerable? I do body work, so I always feel like, if we did like healing massage work for everybody, I mean, if everybody, right, especially right now, could have some massage, some healing body work to calm their nervous system down, and in calming the nervous system down, then you have mental clarity, and having mental clarity, you're able to deal with stress better, conflict, problem solve, basically. When you're calm, that's when you can solve problems. So that's all I have to say while I'm shuffling, is just, let's look at the information, very specific information, and be intelligent about it, and not be overwhelmed by the hype and all this stuff that keeps coming out, which seems to just make people more and more terrified and agitated and crabby too, like in a bad mood. And we can't just stay at home in our pajamas forever, right? I mean, people have to deal with things and go out in the world and stuff. So, okay, that's enough of that. So anyways, I hope you're well wherever you are. My father is currently in a rehab center, and there was a COVID case there, so I feel badly that he's in that situation. And a lot of people know people right now who are very vulnerable, right, that we feel protective of. So yeah, very difficult times, and especially for people that are older and very confused and don't have complete control over their lives, to be put in these places where they feel even more vulnerable, because they are, partly understanding what's happening to them. So it's very difficult. Okay, but I am optimistic. And I've said this since the beginning, since I started doing these readings, when everything came out. I don't know why, but I feel like it has to do with being able to identify and treat people who get sick properly, and not just people in the more well-off countries. Could be some very simple things that people could be doing differently. Like, for example, there was someone who spoke to vitamin D And they were upset that the regular medical practitioners were not recommending that people start taking vitamin D because it seems to be helping. So whether you live in a warm place and you're getting lots of vitamin D, or you don't and you want to take vitamin D, that's something that's come out as something that could be quite helpful for people as far as not getting COVID. Things like that. Information coming, right? Smart people investigating, studying, and if we can just separate ourselves from the media and the hype because they have their own agenda, I think that could be quite helpful. Okay, so the first card, the Chariot reversed, and this is all about, and this came up, I believe, last time. I don't remember if it was reversed or not, but this is about how we manage, how we're sort of steering, driving ahead with our energy, our focus. And this is pretty apropos for right now because it talks about, the light and the dark. It's not the light or the dark or the good or the bad. It's not like that. It's more like two very different forces at play that are pulling us in two very different directions. And it's all about how we manage that. So I feel like that's speaking to, here's all this fear and media hype and everything, and it's penetrating every aspect of society. Like, you cannot get away from it. Like, you might maybe get away from it if you can go like for a walk in the forest somewhere where you don't even see anybody. That I find helpful. But it is sort of everywhere, so we're having to face it. And it's all about how we're managing. How are we managing? Okay. And probably people are feeling this too. Like, oh, 1 minute I feel fine. I feel normal. I forget. I think everything's okay. And the next minute I'm stressed again, right? So how do we manage this? Having a regular life, moving ahead with our dreams, our goals, our plans, getting along with everybody when there's like this dark cloud. It's like constantly in our face saying, doomsday, doomsday, and people are getting pretty scared, and it's been going on for a long time. So that seems apropos. And this card, the Hermit card, which we also saw before, but I believe it was reversed last week. It's interesting how there's a theme with the cards. I mean, I'm shuffling these cards for like 15 minutes before I even begin shuffling them for this video, okay? And the Hermit is about spiritual journey, going inward. So we need to go inward and find our strength, okay? Like deep down, it's like your spiritual, it's not an aura, but like our core of ourselves, the core of ourselves as a spiritual person can answer many questions when we're really tuned in and we're calm. And we sort of go into a meditative state and we're sort of like, okay, so what do I believe the truth is? And there's all kinds of things that can help us as far as how we deal with this on a spiritual level by finding that in ourselves, okay? It's like, it's not even just about healing. It's about trusting, trusting that what's real and what's not real, and not being sort of, constantly manipulated by other people. Very important. Now we have the Two of Cups, and it's reversed. I don't know. It's about partnership, and so this basically, I think, is speaking to, well, we're moving into Christmas season. Because right now these cards are sort of speaking to till the end of November, and the next two cards are speaking towards, so end of October, end of November, moving into December anyways, okay? So this card is indicating that there's going to be, on a personal level, some strife in partnerships. And this card also, which we've seen before, comes up right after it. And, the Five of Swords speaks to kind of like that feeling of getting away with things, like that people are getting away with things, that there's no accountability, that and people might even feel like they're getting ahead, like, oh, I'm ahead, nobody knows what I'm doing, I'm getting away with it. So, we know that this is happening because people haven't been able to have the the resilience to deal with some of the social issues, which were sort of building, you know, like there was a building of kind of like a level of consciousness and involvement in dealing with certain things on an international scale. And because people were placed in a position of terror and, you know, for one reason or another, you know, there's been a lot of things where people have just not been able to feel like they have the strength to be involved and fight the good fight when it comes to whether it's the Amazon rainforest or whatever, right? So people are getting away with things. We know that. You know, a lot of people just want to move into Christmas season and just, you know, have a nice time with their family. But there is definitely stuff going on, and it's creating stress in our relationships with others, because we're not able to sort of feel like we're putting our energy into making the world this much better place. I mean, maybe we walk around and try and smile at people and be nice and, you know, and help somebody if they need help and not be scared to pick up, you know, the avocado they dropped on the ground or whatever in the grocery store. But what about the bigger things that are happening? All those issues, you know, whether it's, people without basic resources, people are being exploited, sweatshops, whatever, you know, like there was this movement, sort of, I felt like it was getting really strong as far as people just being more aware of what was going on out there and having concerns about it. And the whole COVID fear thing kind of shut things down. I'm not saying they necessarily shut it down for you, but I think that they made it very difficult for people to continue to be involved in those kinds of things. Very difficult. But so end of October to the end of November, these cards moving to the end of December. In the new year, and I've said consistently, I really feel like something good is going to happen in the new year. We deserve it. We need it. And here's the Ace of Swords. New ideas. Just getting right to the heart of it. You know, it's a powerful card. Information is coming, okay, that is going to, it's not going to make things necessarily like they were before. I think a lot of us have let go of the idea that this was going to be a 6-month thing and we're all going to go back to the way we were before. That's not necessarily going to happen. But something brilliant is going to happen, okay? And it has to do with intellect, and it has to do with ideas. So something is coming, don't worry. And the Wheel of Fortune, which is a reminder that what goes up must come down. And, you know, just when you think you can't handle anymore, just when you think, no, this is way too hard, too much has happened, I've suffered too much, something changes and the situation becomes alleviated. That's what's coming. I believe it strongly. Okay, so that's the reading for today. Sorry for going on and on in the beginning. I hope that you're all well. I'll be talking to you from Mexico soon. Not soon enough, though. Okay, take care. Bye.